Hello everyone, Riffs here and welcome back to another episode in my Minecraft survival world. In today's episode I'm going to be building an absolutely overkill cobblestone farm that produces 1.2 million items per hour and can also produce basalt and, if you have carpet, mod black stone. And like always, I'm going to be decorating this farm with a crazy factory build. But before we can get to the fun stuff, we first have to dig out a huge hole because this farm is absolutely massive. I have been digging this hole out for around 3 hours now. I think I'm not even a quarter of the way there, so I'm just going to build a TNT grid like last time and use it to blow up everything in front of me. Because this hole is also almost 100,000 blocks and I think 3 hours of mining manually is enough. All these shulkers are almost filled, not all of them, but almost all of them. And these ones are filled with dirt and grass. Let's see you when building the TNT grid is done. I just finished building the TNT grid. I also filled every dispenser with 32 TNT. There's around 3.7 shulkers of TNT worth in all of the dispensers combined. That's a lot of TNT if you ask me, so now let's use it. It always works like a charm. Let's do it double. Didn't destroy anything. I saw the TNT jumping up, so I got a bit scared. If you need to dig out a big hole in your Minecraft survival world, this is a great method. I think TNT did blow up. Let's fix it.
A few moments later.
The hole is dug out. I spaced the dispensers way better, so now I have only a few blocks floating in the air. Let's remove the TNT grid and then we can begin by collecting the materials, the most boring part, and building something. I rigged everything up with TNT, so let's light the first piece on fire.
I just don't even care anymore.
Hopefully it doesn't destroy my shoulders. Now I have a big hole, few blocks to clear out, and 9 hours of my life saved. I'm probably now going to remove those blocks, and then I can begin by collecting the items. So the floating blocks in the hole have been dug out. So now we can begin by collecting the items. And no, I'm not going to bore you with 6 hours of material collecting. So I'm just going to do fast 30-second time lapse. Let's cue the time lapse. So I just finished collecting all of the items for this farm. In total I need around 80,000 items. 10,000 items less as the last farm, but still, it's a lot of items. Didn't take me that long to collect them all because of how many farms I have been building lately. So now we can begin with my favorite part, and that's building this super overpowered cobblestone farm. I just finished the shulker loaders. There are 28 times hopper speed shulker loaders. In total this system can sort up to 1.4 million items. A bit over what I need, but a bit too much is better than not enough. So now I can begin by building the actual farm. So since the last recording there has probably a lot of time passed because I forgot to unpause my recording, so yeah, that's problematic. But the farm is done, so now let's test it out. The farm has 3 modes: cobblestone, the mode I'm going to use the most; blackstone, this is only accessible if you use carpet mod with renewable blackstone active. I am going to use it because I think after all this time to build this farm I am allowed to use it. And basalt mode, not blackstone mode, it is blackstone. And basalt mode, which I am going to use not super often, but I think sometimes. Let's test now the cobblestone mode. I haven't tested it, so hopefully it works. The DU works as intended. And to get a lot of cobblestone, just like to create world. Currently I haven't made the water stream, so we aren't going to use it too long. It makes 1.2 million items now. Now let's test the salt. In a few seconds we should see the salt coming through. Here's the salt, and as you can see sometimes there's blackstone too. That has to do with the orientation of the salt sands, the blue ice and the water. The salt mode works. Now let's try the last mode before my Minecraft crashes or my PC turns into a PowerPoint presentation, the blackstone mode. Remember, this is only accessible if you have carpet mod and enable renewable blackstone. Otherwise, you aren't going to have this blackstone. Now let's turn it off. And I'm going to burn the items because my frames are dropping dramatically. I have 197, not anymore. Only when I render the items it's going to be horrible. Let's see. No, not that much. How many stacks do we have? Look at how many stacks we have in that few minutes. I could probably fill up my inventory in 1 second. Now my PC is back to normal. Now we just have to finish the decoration and we're finally done with this factory. So far I haven't enjoyed building this because this is way too complicated for my brain to understand. But after a hard work and a lot of hours it's done, so I hope the building is rewarding. See you when I'm done with building the decoration.
A world to trust instead of biting fingers till they bleed. Do you find joy in all your shallow hell of empty noise? Our world is burning, but they'll keep on selling broken toys. Whoa, this can't be it, this can't be it now. Whoa, this can't be it, this can't be it.
Factory is finally done, so now I can show you around. It the roof, I forgot to record this, but this needs to be like air cooling because of the heat wave in Europe. I live in Europe, by the way, and this are also air cooling units. These are hydraulic lines with hydraulic pumps. Here's one hydraulic fluid buffer. And these hydraulic lines power the conveyor belt that transports the cobblestone into a facility to store it all. TT stands for my name. I'm not going to say what my name is. Inside you can see that there is no decoration like in that other factory that has to do with what the factory produces, but that is because I built this massive bulk storage system. This bulk storage system is designed by Pyra. I found it in the storage tech Discord. And every slice can hold 1.5 million items, so around 1 hour and 20 minutes and I have one slice completely filled. I only ran the blackstone version for a few minutes and it already got me 10 shulker boxes filled with blackstone. Here is my shulker box input, I have still a lot left. And this is something cool, I can turn on and off the shulker loaders. And I can flush the shulkers. What I mean by that is, there are non-filters, just 8 times hopper speed shulker loaders. I don't want a shulker box with cobblestone and other block in it, so then I can flush the system and all the shulkers that are partially filled get destroyed. I'll show you it in action. So I flick this lever, all the shulkers get a signal and they all come through. I think they are all empty. No, not all empty. A few have some blackstone in it and they get just burned in the lava. And then you can turn on the shulker loaders. This hallway needs to be like creepy so no worker comes here because they can't. But at the end of the tunnel there's light in white stained glass. The reason is because these blocks transfer signals and glass doesn't, and I don't want this farm to break because I spent way too many hours building this and I hated every minute of building this thing. But it works fine, so I am happy. I already showed you it in action, but not with the storage system. Because I didn't want one storage system on one hall. Because I didn't want one storage system on one aisle and the item time was way too high, I designed this system that alternates the water streams. The item time in this way is lower and I don't have to dig out a hole in one long direction. The farm in action, you already have seen it. I think it looks very good in action. It's also really fast. That's a big pumpkin. Now we got to flush a shulker before a half full shulker with cobble and blackstone gets in my storage. That's a bit annoying because I couldn't have node blocks and then absorber because there's just a too small space to fit everything. I can also only flush the system when the shulker loaders are off, otherwise this is open and the partially filled shulkers just get through. And this is a shulker sorter. It sorts the shulkers and puts them in the right water stream, so they end up in the right bulk. Now we're gonna see a lot of items burning. All the shulker loaders got told to dismount their shulkers. The last 4 are always late because they are here. Yeah, this is basically my factory. Hope you guys enjoy. And the next build will probably in 2 or 3 weeks, so see you then. Rifts out.